Well, here's my next free Craigslist find here. Kind of gotten away from the red theme here, and we've gone back to getting junk again. This was advertised free on Craigslist. It's a Scotts 3-in-1 mower, no side discharge or bag, and it's got the Intek 6.5 horsepower overhead valve engine in it. Looks pretty rough. He said that it's got the optional pull start rope because it is torn out, but at least he kept the handle. This part right here is always good to have when you replace these ropes, if this thing will ever run again. So he broke the rope in it. He put it under his deck. It's been under his deck 2 years, he said. And he needed more space under his deck, so he turned the mower sideways, and all the oil has poured out of the exhaust. So it'd be an EPA nightmare if it ever did start. And it smells awful. This carburetor is a mess on the outside. Overhead valve. I'll take this air filter off. My screwdriver wouldn't even take these screws out. They're frozen. The gas smells awful in here. What is in there? It is pretty much varnished out. I think the squirrels pretty much took over this. Wouldn't be surprised to find all kind of nests in here. But it's the high rear wheels. Pretty solid frame. Push to engage. It's got the old type chain drive or gear drive. I've got to look at this. I thought it was a chain. Self-propelled on it. Let's see if any oil's in here at all. Oh my gosh, it's like Sludge City in here. And most of it's probably poured out. It's a pretty big mess here. Got some numbers on here, but they're pretty much faded away. Looks pretty rough. So when you get an engine like this, before you ever try to turn it over, the best thing you can do is take the valve cover off and make sure those valves are not sticking, because they have aluminum push rods in there and they will bend if you try to turn it over. Let's check out the underneath here. Boy, this thing's heavy. And it looks just as good underneath as it does on top. I believe this is a 22-inch. And I think I noticed it has a mulch plug in it. It does. No bag, mulch plug. I don't know if this thing will ever run. We're going to look a few things over. I think the first thing to do, we'll take the air filter off and look at it. And then we're going to take the valve cover off, see if the valves are moving at all before we put a lot of work and effort in here. But here is my next Craigslist find. And since we're doing show and tell, I actually thought I'd show you this other one that I have had for about 2 years. This engine is shot in here. I've just kept this stored away and it's really gotten dirty, but this engine it looked like it ran out of oil and it just totally locked up. And it was in horrible shape. The valves were all locked up in it. This carburetor was a mess. I don't even know if it's usable, but you can see this is what I've been waiting to get, is an engine to replace this great frame on here, which is similar to this one, except this one's self-propelled that I just got. But I don't know if this engine's even any better. But this one I just saved for parts and was kind of holding out to see if I could get an engine for it. It's actually much better shape underneath. And believe me, this engine looked worse than this one when I got it. So I thought I would show both of these Scotts, and maybe we can get the newest one. We'll make an attempt to try to see if we can get that one to run.